My name is Nicole Fonseca, and this is
Miguel Trinidad.
And we own Jeepney and Maharlika, and we're also the co-authors of a new cookbook coming out, I Am a Filipino. We're making our version of lechon, and then we're going to stir fry it with pancit bihon. We have more than 7,107 islands. You have to really consider the Philippines a disparate group of tribes and indigenous people, dialects. So inherent in there is food, recipes, value systems.
A lot of people don't see where the meat comes from. Although you can get something similar by just using a cut of pork, like the pork belly, this is the way it's traditionally done. You're using the whole animal and nothing goes to waste. Everything here can be eaten, can be used. The bones you can save for a stock. Use the leftover head to make paksiw, pork stew. Super delicious. We did have a guy from Cebu, which is known for their lechon, teach us the Cebuano method. I've adapted it and added our own twist on it, longanisa. It is a sweet garlic cured pork sausage. Now usually I truss this with a needle, but if you don't have a needle, all you want to do is take the skin and pierce it so you can get the string through it.
My food memories always revolve around my father. His English wasn't the best, and my Tagalog is non-existent. So what we shared was the language of food. When he would feed me kare-kare peanut stew or lechon, I think it was a way for him to transport me back to his childhood. So he could say, "You're a Filipino, this is lechon."
The indicator that the pig is done is going to be the skin. You know, you want it crispy, you can knock on the skin. This is usually cooked over coals. They skewer it with bamboo and they turn it by hand. Just like when you're cooking coals, the skin is going to get dark first. It's a way of searing the meat so all the juices stay inside and it's nice and tender. That way, by the time it's done, that meat will just pull off the bone.
We opened in 2012 during Hurricane Sandy, could not pay our rent for about 5 months. I had to think of a way to get bodies into the restaurant. Our goal with Filipino food is, how can I turn anything that I was embarrassed about into something of a source of pride? With Kamayan Night, it came about because I remember being embarrassed about eating with my hands, or my dad eating with his hands when my American friends would come. I would even beg him, please order a pizza or a hamburger so it makes sense to hold it with your hands. And I asked, how can we turn this around? We wanted to make it grand. We put banana leaves on the table, we burned the leaves so it became aromatic. We tried different landscapes of how to plate the food, because you eat with your eyes first. And then it just grew from there.
In order to really understand the food, you need to understand the people. So you need to get involved. You need to understand the process, because every process is different. For example, me going to culinary school, you never burn garlic. But when you're cooking Filipino food, you toast that garlic, because that's gonna impart a completely different flavor. I wouldn't have known that from reading any of the cookbooks unless I actually cooked with lolas and yayas. I would have never known that. And these are things, when you're trying to cook somebody else's food, it's like really understanding and cooking with them and really jumping in there. We're gonna use that jus for the pancit, the drippings from the longanisa, the onions, the garlic, the lemongrass.
You'll see the remnants of the Chinese in our food. Pancit for us, it also symbolizes long life. So you'll have it at birthdays. You'll have it for merienda, which is our mid-afternoon snack. Have it for lunch. It's really easy to have anytime. One of the obstacles for Filipino restaurants was when Filipinos would come to restaurants, if it's not like what they grew up on, it's somehow not credible. But I think part of us being out here is educating on the different kinds of an adobo or recipes and just broadening our spectrum of understanding Filipino food. If food is one of the last vestiges of identity, it can get really protected. We're not saying one is better than the other, but we're just saying there's so many other ways to do it.
Oh, yes!